My mother told me I'd never measure up to my sister, but after secretly paying $47,000 of their bills, I finally exposed the truth at a family dinner that left everyone speechless. My mother glanced at me from across our dining room table and declared, "You'll never measure up to your sister." The entire family froze mid-bite. My father agreed with a firm nod. My sister grinned smugly, but I rose from my chair and spoke words that left everyone completely speechless. I'm Maya, 28 years old. Throughout my entire life, I've existed as the forgotten child, the second choice, the daughter working double shifts just to survive while my parents lavished my sister Emma with compliments, financial support, and chances I could never access. My evenings were spent as an ICU nurse, keeping patients alive in critical care. Weekends found me teaching children to afford student debt that expanded relentlessly each month. I never voiced complaints or requested assistance. I simply observed from the background as Emma received every advantage served effortlessly. If your relatives have ever dismissed you while elevating another family member, hit subscribe immediately and share your location. I personally review each response because I understand precisely how that devastating sense of being ignored destroys you internally. Everything changed 3 months back during what seemed like another routine family meal. But this gathering held significance. This celebration centered entirely around Emma's exciting announcement. She'd secured a marketing position at a hip new company, and my parents had orchestrated a complete spectacle. Our dining area carried the aroma of herb-roasted poultry and premium wine. Mother had prepared Emma's preferred dishes completely from scratch. Fresh blooms adorned the table alongside fine porcelain and dancing candlelight resembling a festive occasion. I arrived directly following a 12-hour hospital rotation, still dressed in medical scrubs, fatigue overwhelming every movement. "Maya, you're behind schedule," Mother commented without lifting her gaze. Her focus remained fixed on Emma, who was describing her modern workspace and complimentary fermented tea in the employee lounge. I settled into the sole available seat, the one with an unsteady leg everyone else avoided. Emma radiated joy, her styling flawless, dressed in an outfit that likely exceeded my weekly earnings. Father absorbed her every statement as though she was revealing revolutionary medical breakthroughs. My supervisor mentioned I showed genuine promise for the creative leadership role, Emma continued, gesturing with her wine glass. He believes I could be managing major campaigns in half a year. That's remarkable, darling. Father glowed. This organization clearly recognizes exceptional ability. I attempted joining their discussion. Regarding careers, I received recognition today for assisting in saving a patient who arrived with heart failure. The physician stated my rapid response determined whether they lived or died. Mother barely acknowledged me. That's pleasant, dear. She immediately returned attention to Emma. Share more details about your workplace environment. It sounds incredibly energetic. Father leaned closer, completely disregarding my accomplishment. Emma's truly advancing with this company. They offer genuine advancement opportunities, unlike these stagnant medical positions. That's when everything shifted. The instant that transformed everything. Mother stared directly at me with that familiar icy expression I'd witnessed countless times previously. "Maya, you'll never measure up to your sister." Emma possesses motivation. She demonstrates determination. She's progressing in life. The statement struck me like a physical attack. What intensified the pain was observing Emma's response. She didn't support me. She showed no discomfort. She simply smiled and continued drinking as though Mother had just praised the evening weather. While I sat gazing at the partially finished meal before me, something awakened. I'd been covering my parents' home loan for half a year. 6 months of $2,800 installments flowing directly from my checking account while they presented Emma a $5,000 celebration bonus for obtaining employment paying less than my monthly income. However, that dinner represented merely the opening. The genuine betrayals were approaching. 14 days afterward, I was browsing social media during my midday break when I discovered them. Photographs of Emma, my parents, and Emma's partner enjoying a Hawaiian beach. Tropical palms, turquoise waters, luxury resort beverages decorated with tiny parasols. They appeared to be experiencing paradise. I stared at my screen in complete shock. Nobody had discussed a family trip. Nobody had even suggested it. I immediately contacted Mother. "Oh, Maya," she responded when I questioned the vacation. "We assumed you couldn't secure time away from work. You're constantly busy with your shifts." "You never inquired," I replied, my voice breaking. "You never asked if I wanted to participate." Well, it developed rather spontaneously. Emma required relaxation after beginning her new position. You understand, right? I disconnected and viewed additional photos. My family constructing sand sculptures. My family dining at upscale establishments. My family engaging in meaningful sunset conversations without me. Emma's message arrived 3 hours later. "Sorry, assumed you knew about Hawaii. You're always busy anyway, so we figured you wouldn't be interested. Hope you're not upset." I wasn't upset. I was shattered. The public embarrassment followed next, nearly destroying me entirely. Emma's 26th birthday celebration occurred at the city's most expensive restaurant, where appetizers exceeded my weekly food budget. My parents had reserved the entire private section and invited 50 guests to honor their accomplished daughter. I appeared after another extended shift, still carrying faint hospital antiseptic odors, wearing my finest dress that appeared inexpensive beside everyone's designer attire. Mother delivered a speech that nauseated me. "We're incredibly proud of our Emma," she announced, lifting her wine glass high. "She's consistently demonstrated such natural ability, such promising prospects. Certain individuals are simply destined for success." The entire room applauded. Emma basked in the attention like she was receiving a prestigious award. Mrs. Chun, one of Mother's companions, then addressed me. "What's your profession, Maya? I know Emma works in marketing, but I've forgotten about your path." Before I could respond, Father interrupted with laughter that burned my cheeks. "Oh, Maya's still exploring options. She's employed at the hospital, but Emma's the one with the genuine career. Emma's the one truly building something meaningful." I had recently earned my nursing credentials. I was functioning in intensive care, literally managing people's survival daily. I earned more than Emma had ever seen. But Father only recognized his successful daughter who shared attractive social media posts for a startup that might disappear within 2 years. Mother raised her glass again. "We're simply so proud of our accomplished daughter," she declared, looking directly at Emma while I sat 3 feet away. The room quieted momentarily, and I felt 50 sets of eyes observing me. Some appeared confused, others seemed embarrassed for me, but my parents continued smiling and celebrating Emma as though I was transparent. That evening, I returned home and wept until my eyes swelled shut. But the worst deception was still approaching. I uncovered it accidentally while assisting Mother with organizing her finances. There, mixed among utility bills and credit statements, were documents that chilled my blood. Emma's educational loan statements, all marked completely satisfied. I seized the papers with trembling hands and began calculating. Emma had graduated owing $45,000. Every single payment had originated from my parents' account, the identical account receiving my monthly deposits to assist with the mortgage. I confronted Mother the following day. "You've been using my money to eliminate Emma's loans." Mother displayed no shame. "Emma needs to concentrate on career development. She can't be burdened by debt while establishing her future. You maintain steady employment. You can manage your own obligations, plus support the family. I've been working nights and weekends to pay my own loans while you used my mortgage contributions to clear Emma's debt. Maya, don't be selfish. Family supports family. Emma's success benefits everyone." That's when I grasped the reality. I hadn't been assisting with the mortgage. I'd been financing Emma's complete lifestyle while struggling with my own debt. She graduated completely free while I exhausted myself maintaining payments. What they didn't realize was that I'd been recording everything. Every bank transfer, every payment, every receipt. I maintained detailed records for tax purposes, never imagining I'd require them as evidence of financial exploitation. While they celebrated Emma's $45,000 salary, they had no knowledge I earned $89,000 annually. They were unaware I'd been accepted into a nurse practitioner program that would increase my income to six figures. I'd been remaining quiet about something that would alter everything. My colleague Jennifer had been observing this entire situation develop. She was the senior nurse on my unit, a woman in her 50s who spoke directly. One day during our break, she looked me straight in the eye and said what I needed to hear. "Maya, you're literally financing your sister's existence while they treat you like a disappointment. This isn't family support. This is financial exploitation." Jennifer helped me calculate the precise figures. Over 2 years, I'd provided my parents $47,000. Not just for the mortgage, as I believed, but for Emma's loans, her vehicle payment, even her credit card bills during difficult months. That's when things became intriguing. Mother started suggesting Emma's engagement. Her boyfriend had proposed, and they were planning an elaborate wedding. A wedding requiring family contributions. "Maya can handle the catering expenses," Mother mentioned casually during a phone conversation. "She doesn't have other obligations like Emma does. Emma needs to save for her gown and the honeymoon." I hung up and began printing documents, bank statements, payment records, loan calculations, everything I'd need to prove exactly how much I'd been supporting this family while they treated me like the unsuccessful daughter. Then I did something that terrified me. I stopped making the mortgage payment. My phone exploded within a week. Frantic calls from Mother. Furious texts from Father. Even Emma called, suddenly concerned about family finances for the first time ever. "Maya, what's happening with the mortgage?" Mother demanded. "The bank called saying the payment is overdue." "I think we need to have a family meeting," I said calmly. "Let's sit down for dinner and discuss everyone's financial contributions." They agreed immediately, probably thinking they could guilt me back into compliance. The dinner was scheduled for Saturday evening. Mother prepared another elaborate meal, probably thinking food would soften my resolve. Father opened wine like we were celebrating something. Emma arrived with her engagement ring gleaming, ready to discuss wedding plans and my expected contribution. They had no idea what was approaching. Father began the lecture before we'd finished eating. "Maya, we need to discuss responsibility, family obligations. You can't simply stop supporting us because you're experiencing some kind of emotional breakdown. This family relies on your contributions," Mother added. "Emma's building her future, and we all must sacrifice to help her succeed." Emma nodded along, completely oblivious about where her lifestyle actually originated. "Maya, I know you're stressed about money, but we're family. We help each other." That's when Mother gave me that same cold sneer, that same dismissive expression that had tormented me for years. And she repeated the exact same words that had initiated this entire confrontation. "You'll never measure up to your sister." I stood up slowly, my hands steady for the first time in months. I looked Mother directly in the eye and said the words that made the room go dead silent. "Then ask her to pay your bills." Nobody moved. Nobody spoke. The only sound was the ticking of the grandfather clock in the hallway. I reached into my bag and retrieved a folder thick with documents. I spread them across the dinner table like I was dealing cards, each page landing with a soft thud that seemed to echo in the silence. "I've paid $47,000 to this family over the past 2 years, I said, my voice steady and clear. "Emma's student loans, your mortgage, her car payment, even her credit card bills when she overspent on clothes and vacations." Emma's face went white. She picked up one of the bank statements with trembling hands, staring at payment after payment with her name in the memo line. "Monthly mortgage payments, $2,800, I continued, pointing to each document. "Emma's loan payments, $650 monthly. Car payment contributions, $400 monthly. Random emergency payments when Emma needed help, $8,200 total." Father was frantically flipping through the papers, his confident expression crumbling as he realized every payment was documented, every lie exposed. "Emma," I turned to my sister, who was still staring at the evidence in shock. "You had no idea I was paying your loans, did you?" She shook her head, tears starting to form in her eyes. "Maya, I thought Mom and Dad were helping me. I didn't know the money was coming from you." "Of course you didn't," I said, because they wanted you to think you were special, that you were successful, that you were better than me. I turned back to my parents, who were both trying to speak at once, scrambling to explain away 2 years of financial manipulation. You want to know the real difference between Emma and me? I asked, my voice getting stronger with every word. I've been supporting this entire family while Emma plays grown-up with a job that pays less than what I make in 2 weeks. The silence that followed was deafening. My nursing income is $89,000 annually, I continued. Emma's startup salary is $45,000, but you spent 2 years telling everyone that she's the successful one while I'm still figuring things out. Emma was crying openly now, the weight of the truth hitting her like a physical blow. She'd been living off my money while looking down on me. Her entire lifestyle, her debt-free graduation, her financial freedom to focus on her career, all of it had been built on my work, my sacrifice, my paychecks. Maya, we can explain, Father started. But I held up my hand. No, I said firmly. You can't explain away 2 years of lies. You can't explain why you took my money to pay her bills while telling me I'd never measure up to her. You can't explain why you celebrated her success when it was funded by mine. I gathered up the documents and put them back in my folder. The mortgage payment stops now. Emma can be as good as she wants with her own money. I walked out that night and never returned to those family dinners. Within 2 weeks, I'd relocated to another city and accepted a position as a nurse practitioner, making $120,000 annually. The hospital that hired me valued my experience, my dedication, and my skills. They treated me like the professional I'd always been, not like the failure my family had convinced themselves I was. My parents' house went into foreclosure within 6 months. Emma's relationship fell apart when the financial reality hit, and she couldn't maintain the lifestyle she'd grown accustomed to. She called me crying, begging for help, but I was done being their safety net. For the first time in my life, their silence didn't hurt me. It freed me. I finally understood that I never needed their approval. I needed my own respect. I needed to value myself the way I'd been hoping they would value me for years. I built a new life surrounded by colleagues who appreciated my contributions. People who saw my worth without needing proof or documentation or years of financial support. People who understood that success isn't about getting everything handed to you. It's about working for what you have and being proud of what you've accomplished. They lost me that day, and I never looked back. Sometimes the greatest gift you can give yourself is walking away from people who can't see your worth, no matter how much evidence you provide. If you've ever been the family member who gives everything while someone else gets all the credit, you're not alone. Drop a comment below and tell me your story. Where are you watching from? Have you ever had to choose between family loyalty and your own self-worth? Your experiences matter, and I read every single comment. Hit that subscribe button if you want more stories about finding strength when family dynamics go wrong. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is stop paying for other people's dreams and start investing in your own.